Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the ape army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
This ain't financial advice, just a little DD to help you think twice. We hold for each other, eyes on the prize. The new floor's 200,000 times 5. I joke, I kid, no, I don't know a damn thing. I'm as simple as Bubba trying to sell some damn shrimp. Can't spell IQ, can't even count to 10. And I eat crayons every day with my friends. I think about Kenny in his ivory tower, shaking in his lily boots as the apes overpower. Must suck to lose to monkeys, so dumb. But you made your bed and you got nowhere to run. I'd love to be a fly on the wall when he makes the prize fall. And he watching as we keep buying more. You forgot we on the float, blind 2 hours old. Lie, stop breaking the law, asshole.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the ape army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
Crayon eating Lambo lover, spook brain, stupid ass. Throwing all my money at the streets like a quarterback. If you D don't mean a thing, water up a duck's back. Apes not leaving nothing till we get the money stacks. Monkey see, monkey do, monkey holding to it blue. Monkey magic coming through, through us monkeys on the moon. Double digit IQ, tendy loving bamboo. Right here we got more smoothies than a jumbo juice. Probably thought you coulda made us sell all the gooda. In hell we maybe woulda, but we more zen than the Buddha. The floor 6 figures ain't selling for less. You took on the ape nation and you're fucking with the best. We hold for each other, my sisters and my brothers, the fighters and the lovers. We don't need another fan because we huddle through hard times and struggles. Cause we're just a couple of diamonds in the rough.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me. Cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the ape army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
Moon gang, hello, welcome back to another episode of Dumb Money with me, Matt, where we're going to talk about stonks, we're going to talk about options, we're going to talk about futures, we're going to talk about crypto, because why not? But as you know, one of my favorite things to talk about is just the loopholes, the manipulation, the illicit actions that we see day in and day out in the various markets, because hey, to fix something, you've got to start off by shining a light on it. And hot off the press, before we get into what's going on with all of the markets right now, I'm seeing from many people, and I just confirmed it myself on YouTube. I didn't know that TMI had various YouTube channels, but it looks like TMI Live, the Mass Investor Live, it looks like that was taken down again. Now, I've been here myself, 2-3 times. TMI's been there before. What this is, and I don't have like exact proof of this because YouTube doesn't want to share that type of information, but my gut feeling is that when this happens to TMI, to myself, you're a victim of getting like mass reported by bots. It's almost like a cyber attack on your account. It seems like someone creates like this little army of bots. They write a script, they mass report you, and then it's not some actual person at YouTube looking at it and deciding to take it down. It's someone, whether I don't know who, like obviously that's up to assumption there. But what it is, in my best estimation, is it's too many reports flagging your account in too short of a time period, and it triggers something like almost like a fail safe at YouTube. Because remember, with YouTube, every like single second there's hundreds of hours of content uploaded, and sometimes the content that's being uploaded is content that should never be seeing the light of day, especially on a platform such as YouTube. So from like a software standpoint, I kind of get what's going on, but I do find it increasingly odd and anomalous that it seems to happen more and more to people in our community. I think what it is that someone who has figured out this bot attack system has figured out a loophole within YouTube, and they know they can take people down. So to TMI, it is good that he has other channels. You can still find him on YouTube. It's just not the TMI live channel. But for whoever it is, I mean, myself, and I think all of your favorite creators, you should be kind of advising them to have multiple platforms. I don't know. With TMI, the last time we saw this, TMI was taken down, and the very next week, I was taken down from the same thing of just being identified as harmful and dangerous. And that's just the rubric under which they're reporting you of like what rule you violated. Like I said, it's a bot attack, but a failsafe against that, just so everyone knows, like TMI does have multiple channels. I think that's smart. I have multiple channels. I'm here, I'm on Kohrs Lite, but then I'm also off platform. I'm currently streaming to both Twitch and Rumble, and I hope we should be advising all of our favorite creators to get on multiple platforms, because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket of getting taken down, because these bot attacks, in my estimation, are a very, very real thing. What is nice though is in the past when this has happened, it does seem by the end of that day, like if you give it a good 12, 24 hours, that YouTube does fix it, because typically our community is so loud, and that's exactly what we need to do. It's such a loud uproar that YouTube is almost like forced to look at it before they have to look at other cases, because we make it such a PR nightmare on Twitter, essentially. And that's exactly what we need to keep doing. So the fastest way to help TMI get back his account is to make such a issue of it on Twitter. YouTube is very active at looking at their Twitter. You got to tag YouTube. You got to, what the hashtag right now is free TMI. That'll get a human at YouTube to actually review it. And then the faster a human reviews it, they'll realize that he is not whatever he's accused of being, and they'll get the account back. So that's kind of like what we've been through on this one. It's just insane. The fact that this has now happened in total to people in our community over 5 times. It seems to be namely myself and TMI. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Some more so of like the live streamers, it seems to be negatively affecting, but it's absolutely insane. But hopefully, if we make this a big enough thing on Twitter, I feel very, very confident that he will get his account back probably by the end of today. I feel very, very confident about that. But as I get any information related to it, not related to it, I'll keep you guys all updated. I'll let you know if he shoots me a text or something like that. I'm always hesitant right away, because like since I've been through this myself, you're just getting inundated, and your first goal is to reach out to YouTube and get in contact with them. So I don't want to like get in his way of currently talking with YouTube. But if he reaches out, I'm more than happy to share that if he wants me to share what's going on publicly. Now let's talk about the overall markets. Just so you know, AMC, we're looking at 40.70 right now. GME, we're looking at 186.55. So here's what you need to know for the overall market today. Wall Street looks steady after S&P 500. Dow saw 5-day win streaks. The market is on the up and up. Couple things to talk about over there. So one of the strongest reasons for it going up is we're seeing a lot of good reports. We're about to talk about NVAX and both Netflix. Those were kind of 2 important ones that came out this morning. Other than that, some of the big things facing the overall market, oil sky high. We're going to be talking about that a bit more as it relates to inflation, which is a whole nother thing we need to be talking about. A lot of rhetoric going out there like live this morning about what is or isn't going on with inflation. And to put it very simply, not looking the best. Oil's not currently at its high that we saw, but it's still over $80 a barrel. The high is like 83. It's the highest that it's been at in like quite a while, since like, I don't know, 2014 or something like that. Another thing that we're seeing commonly being correlated now with the S&P 500 is Bitcoin. We really need to talk about that. Actually, now is a perfect time. Bitcoin is going sky high, and it's because of the enthusiasm, the positive sentiment, the new IRA money, the accessibility of the new Bitcoin futures ETF by ProShares. It's trading under the ticker BIT. Very, very interesting. And a lot of people are thinking that another Bitcoin futures ETF will be coming out sometime this week, Valkyrie. I'm going to spend a little bit more time in general on Bitcoin. So I just want to give you the highlights that it's looking very, very good right now. In terms of Netflix and Novavax, let's talk about this right here. Here are the details. For Novavax, the drug maker's shares tumbled 26% in pre-market following a Politico report saying that it was having trouble meeting the FDA quality standards for its COVID-19 vaccine. A little bit more about vaccines and what's going on with that. Obviously, that's negative news for NVAX. In terms of the political front, the White House just came out with commentary that as soon as it's approved, they will be looking forward to move forward with, I guess, these shots to approve it for that 5 to 11-year-old group. And on top of it, another COVID update. If you are in New York, Mayor de Blasio to issue vaccine mandate for all New York City municipal workers, including first responders. So just a little bit of your COVID update there as it relates to Novavax and like really the sector at large, and a little bit more to the streaming and consuming. Netflix reported quarterly earnings and they won. They beat. They had higher than expectations. $3.19 versus $2.56 with a revenue. It was crazy. I mean, we're talking about 7.5 billion. They had about 4.4 million new subscribers, and the first half of 2021 was 5 million. So they crushed it in the quarter. A lot of eyes were on Squid Game. It cost about 21 million to make, and it brought in 900 million. So talk about an investment. But beyond that, what I found particularly interesting about Netflix is there was a little bit of commentary about them making their own movies, and at first, before it hits Netflix, doing a theatrical release window, which I think is exciting for things such as AMC, IMAX, all like just the theatrical experience. Netflix did have some pretty interesting commentary on that, and I like it. I like the sound of it. I like where it's going. And then we talked to New York City face unexplained right there. Expanded COVID vaccine mandate. We spoke about that with de Blasio. So let's talk a little bit about what I would argue is the biggest bearish thing currently facing the overall market. I'm talking about the SPY, I'm talking about IWM, I'm talking about the Qs. So just so we have an idea of where they're at, I already showed you that oil is still sky high, currently trading at $81 per barrel. But in terms of the SPY, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days just up, and it's been going up since the start of October, which is pretty much in line with what we saw in that seasonality. I showed you that equity clock seasonality of what happens the second and third thirds of October. So basically the first third a little bit iffy for the overall market, but then once you get past that, up till Thanksgiving we're pretty good. Little bit of dip, seasonal dip at Thanksgiving, and then you rip pretty much till the first week of January. That is the seasonal pattern, and thus far it's very much holding true. In fact, we look like we are gapping up today. At this point, I'm watching, man, like we might be gunning for a new all-time high in the stock market. Like this is how good the S&P 500 is right now. And to me, it feels a bit weird because the inflationary things we're seeing in commentary from very well-respected people is, hang on, maybe we shouldn't be at these levels. Paul Tudor Jones, billionaire, very, very rich, Mr. Richie Rich, says inflation could be worse than feared, biggest threat to markets and society. This is his commentary from Squawk Box this morning. I think to me, the number one issue facing Main Street investors is inflation, and it's pretty clear to me that inflation is not transitory. That's one thing that I have been saying for quite a while about this. It's probably the single biggest threat to certainly financial markets and think to society in general. And it's just the cost of everything's going up. Unfortunately, the increase in labor payments is not on par with the increase of cost of living. So labor is going up. Paychecks are higher, but not to the same degree that everything else is more expensive. So that's definitely problematic. And just to get a little bit more detailed, because I do think that it's important for us to all know about, the Federal Reserve Chair Powell's 5 measuring sticks on inflation aren't holding up very well, and that is very much true. The Federal Reserve, whether it's to keep their job or not, they continually tell us that it is transitory. It is transitory, it's transitory, it's transitory. It doesn't really seem to be that. That's not the measurements. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Paul Tudor Jones is wrong. I hope many market professionals are wrong. But right now, it's very, very questionable. And just off the top, it seems like they are talking about that new economic package, and it seems like the top line number they're looking at is $1.9 trillion. So if that does come to fruition, we're talking about another $2 trillion that, once again, makes the U.S. debt worse, but it's just speeding up money velocity. It's increasing money supply. It's just another little thing that is filling the bucket that is inflation. But anyway, back to these 5 measuring tricks, just like the 5 of the major things that we should be talking about every so often, just so we see what is or isn't going off with them. Right off the bat, the case for there being no broad-based pressure looks weak. Supply chain disruptions have gone on looking far longer than the Fed had hoped. So yes, the interesting story with this right now is what's going on the port of LA and Long Beach. The last time I checked, there was over 80 different cargo ships that were parked just in the water there because the ports are way too busy. They're attempting to work at 24/7 capacity. Biden has reached out to Walmart, to FedEx, to UPS to get their help. But then the Walmart, UPS, and FedEx workers in chat here is like, we're already tapped. We're already working at full capacity. So the lending hand that they might be able to offer the U.S. government doesn't seem to be that vast. It's one of these classic things where there's just low supply, high demand, and those 2 ports between LA and Long Beach represent about 20% of all imports for the US. So right there, supply chain issues, and that's just one example. Like, I'm sure there's many people throughout your own personal life right now, wherever you are, whether it's in the US, outside of the US, where you might be seeing on more of a micro scale your own supply chain issues. Right now, so many things are absurdly high. We have processing chips, the entire meat industry, the chemical industry, such as chlorine, all those things, low supply, high demand, costs are sky high. Prices for oil and other parts of the energy space are affecting a wide swath of activities. We know that with factories being recently shut down, opening back up again, prices going high, OPEC and their allies keeping supply constrained. Oil is high, gasoline is high, coal is high. Lots of energy pricing is very, very high. The third prong is wages. That's a very easy statistic to track. We just know that right here, labor is going up. You can see it. Look at the spike upward. Prices are clearly going up. At some degree, that's worked with the average hourly earnings up 4.6% year over year in September and rising 4.2% on a 3-month basis. Powell's fourth point about inflation expectations depends on the eye of the beholder. Market-based measures of inflation have been either within or not much above the Fed's 2% target. One such measure, the 5-year forward inflation rate, is 2.37. It's highest in 8 years. So they do go out of their way to specifically say, okay, eye of the beholder and how you want to particularly measure it. Some people who are going to be a little bit more positive and optimistic on the situation will be like, not that high, 2 versus 2.37. But depending on when you look, sometimes we're currently dealing in, I think, 5.4%, maybe it's 4.5%, maybe I'm flipping those right now, of what it's currently at. So it depends on how you want to look at it. Like, that's why they worded it this way, a little bit optimistic. Finally, Powell has long held that inflation is being held in check by forces that the Fed has no control over: aging populations, lower productivity, and advances in technology. This is classic. Hey, this is not our fault. I like how the fifth thing about inflation is just, it's not in our control. That is not my job. And that's the sign of a good leader. The sign of a good leader is if something is not going in the way you want it to, obviously you got to blame it on something out of your control. And then if it's going in your favor, you obviously have to take all of the accolades that come along with it. Very, very strong sign of leadership. Now, with it, it's important I bring up inflation, and I want to discuss it with all of you because it's just important to know that the environment we're in. I'm not here calling doomsday. I'm not here hyperinflation. I'm just saying there's a good argument that maybe we shouldn't be trading $3 south of an all-time high. I don't think that our economy is the best it's ever been within $3, which is what, not even 1%. So it's okay to take these healthy corrections and look for that equilibrium where the economy and Wall Street are a little bit more in line right now, because we're at the point where the stock market, it's getting very distorted from the current state of our economy. But that's okay, because right here, the reason we talk about it is so we're all prepared, and you can make money in any environment. You can't only make money when it's just going up and everything's great and it all makes sense. No, there's whatever the environment is, as long as you properly know what that environment is, you know how to play it, and there's ability to make money. You can make money when the market goes up, down, sideways, backwards, inverse, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. You can make money when the market is moving that direction. And right now, as there's more and more talks about inflation, a lot of people, you're going to hear the classic argument of the inflationary hedge being gold. But right now, with the rise in technology, the rise in popularity of crypto, one of the biggest things is digital gold. In fact, there are many people such as Mark Cuban who are going to argue that it's actually better than gold because we have a clear finite supply. And right now, with Bitcoin ripping, we are at 64,400. That puts us about $400 away from the all-time high in Bitcoin. As in, it doesn't matter whenever you got into it. It does not matter at all. You're about to be in profit. Ethereum ripping to 4,000. A bunch of other crypto is kind of flat right now. Like the stars of the current show, at least for the third week of October, is Bitcoin and Ethereum. I hope you got some of it because it is looking very, very good. And I do not think it's stopping here. Now, you always got to be careful with chasing. You always got to be careful with FOMO. But this is looking very, very green. Like, this thing is going full Hulk on the system. And part of that is because yesterday we had the first Bitcoin-based ETF come out. ProShares BITO. Look at this. ProShares Bitcoin Futures ETF BITO hauls in 550 mil of assets in stock market debut. Shot from 570 mil from 20 mil. Talk about a gain. So remember, this is based on futures. That's going to move pretty much in lockstep with Bitcoin, but it's not exactly Bitcoin itself. If you put $50 into BITO, you're not getting $50 of Bitcoin. You're getting $50 of Bitcoin futures. Just to know a little bit, it's the difference between being physically settled, cash settled, as in direct ownership, indirect ownership. Just so you know, it's not a spot ETF. We're looking to get one with Grayscale, GBTC. They're looking to have that by the end of the year, but this is where we're at right now. So it's very good, but like I said, it's not like the perfect, most excellent thing because we don't have that spot ETF on Bitcoin, but I do think it'll be out hopefully by the end of this calendar year. We are looking potentially at the end of this week for another Bitcoin futures ETF from Valkyrie, but BITO came out yesterday. Very, very exciting for the world of crypto. Speaking of ETFs, Purpose Investments. This is one that's already rocking. It's a spot ETF in Canada. They're rocking to file 3 more. So Canada, shout out to all of my friends to the north there. You guys are already ahead. The proposals of the 3 actively managed, dubbed Purpose Crypto Opportunity ETFs, you have a Bitcoin yield and then you have an Ether yield. So that's kind of exciting. If you want to read more about it, you could check it out on CoinDesk. But Canada ahead of the game in the world of crypto ETFs. Looks like they're about to rock with 3 more. And just a little bit about Ethereum, because Ethereum's also looking well. It's performing very well, I should say. Ethereum, remember, Bitcoin, store of value. Think of it as digital gold. Ethereum, a different beast, but a beast nonetheless, much more of a utility blockchain. It's how we have DeFi. It's how we have dApps. It's how we have NFTs. It's very interesting technology that many other things can be built on top of. So from a technical standpoint, far more complex than Bitcoin. Think of Bitcoin, store of value. It's something, instead of having it in USD or real estate, you have it in digital gold. Ethereum is a technology that an incredibly sophisticated technology that far more things are built on. And one of the biggest things of when you get to the world of crypto is the consensus model. So something like Bitcoin and Ethereum currently are proof of work. That's why you hear of miners. These miners, they're basically renting out their processing power, and that's how they are updating and securing the blockchain. And the newer generations of crypto are proof of stake. As in, it's not miners doing the validation and the security, it's people who actually own the coin, the token. And that's what Ethereum is looking to go from Ethereum to Ethereum 2.0. Just so you know, things like Solana, well, that's not technically proof of stake, but it kind of is. And then Cardano is definitely proof of stake. It's just a better consensus model of updating, validating, and securing the blockchain. But right here, Ethereum's difficulty bomb timing hints at an early summer merge. And this is all about really what's going on with it's coming down to, if you're like just lightly paying attention to what's going on with Ethereum, many people, like, of course, there's always updates and there's always exciting things happening, but the big thing is going right here. It's getting off the proof of work chain. It's going to proof of stake. That announcement is going to prompt an incredible amount of excitement for Ethereum and ETH itself. During the Ethereum core devs meeting number 124 on October 15th, a proposal to push December's difficulty bomb was discussed. According to ETH Hub, the difficulty bomb refers to a mechanism at a predefined block number, increasing the difficulty levels of puzzles in the proof of work mining algorithm, resulting in longer than normal block times and thus less ETH rewards for miners. So you've probably heard about this before with Bitcoin. Every so often, they get to a certain point where the difficulty becomes more, because like you're not going to keep them. It's like you're solving a very complex mathematical puzzle, and it gets more and more complex as there's less and less supply to actually be mined. In other words, it's increasing mining difficulty exponentially over time, eventually leading to an ice age, which would force the chain to stop producing blocks, essentially freezing out proof of work mining as Ethereum shifts to its proof of stake consensus model. Or mechanism, excuse me. This is very, very good. You want it to go over to proof of stake. It is a stronger consensus model. According to the project manager, we think 4 months is a generous time frame for having the code done to seeing the merge on the main net. If they have to delay the bomb again, it will eat at time that they could be spending on the transition to proof of stake. However, the bomb is set too far away, it loses the utility of de-incentivizing the proof of work chain. So it's a balancing act right now. We could go into more details specifically. I know there's a lot of people who listen that like Ethereum. I just giving you the highlights of what to pay attention to, but it's this difficulty bomb in terms of how hard it is for them to do the proof of work. It's a balancing act with them switching over to proof of stake, and even the balancing act of psychological rewards of who's going to be doing what. But on top of that, the dev team, the engineering team, of them doing what they need to do to get over to proof of stake. So one thing to pay attention to there, but maybe more of you are interested in this. Martha Stewart is reportedly planning to sell her viral thirst trap selfie as an NFT. The boss lady of them are Martha Stewart getting into the world of crypto, specifically through NFTs. She has an entire series. One of them is a thirst trap. I would not be surprised if she makes a lot of money from it. Martha Stewart is releasing her very first NFT collection, the Wall Street Journal first reported. She's planning to release regular collections tied to various holidays and seasons. Her first line in Halloween theme, featuring photos of pumpkins, carvings, and a picture of her in a bloody nurse costume. So, hey, if you needed some sort of bullish signal for the world of crypto, Martha Stewart dropping her own NFT, I don't know if there's a more bullish signal out there. So, hey, if you're waiting on the sidelines being like, I needed that signal, I would argue strongly that you just got your signal. Okay, now let's get a little bit more prep. We went over what's going on in the world from the higher picture. Let's talk specifically about two of our favorite moon stocks. Let's start it off with AMC. They've already borrowed 1.25 million shares against AMC today. That puts the estimated short interest, key on estimated, at 16.7%, utilization 84%, shares on loan 107 million, but with today probably up to 107.5. And just so you know, the average age of these shares on loan is coming in at 74 days. Remember, they are paying this fee. The cost to borrow fee, that is an annual rate, and you would split it up by the amount of trading days. But hey, when you're in it for that long, especially at sizable positions, that fee totally adds up. In terms of GameStop, utilization 37%, shares on loan 8.4 million, estimated short interest right now sitting at 11.85%, and they already have a net borrow against GME of 21,000. All right. Bitcoin looking good. Ethereum looking good. I will keep that up on the side throughout the day. In terms of the key levels to watch, at least for me, support, resistance, what I'm paying attention to today, we have key support at 40, looking for the breakout around 41.85, and would love the break and hold of the gap fill from yesterday at 44.20. So major support 40, major breakout level, aka resistance 44.20, and that's for AMC. And the finer levels, as the market starts trading, we'll talk about those. And then for GME, we're still looking at that breakout of the region of supply from 188 to 190. We want that breakout from 190. I will watch 196, but I mainly care about 200. We have some nice support at 180, and then notable support at 175. So those are the major levels I'll be paying attention to on our main moon stocks. Right now, I'm seeing the Russell 2000 and SPY kind of perk up. So my bias going into today is going to be a little bit of a bullish one, but let's see. I like to sit on my hands for those first 15, 20, 30 minutes, see how things shake out. Sometimes you miss opportunities. Other times it saves you a lot of money. One, really before the market gets going today, just so you know, Tesla, I believe, is going to be reporting its delivery numbers after the bell closes today at 4 p.m. So pay attention to that, because Tesla might have a haywire post-market, pre-market, just with those delivery numbers. Recently, it has been beating those delivery numbers, so I would like for that trend to continue, but Tesla, potentially some higher volatility incoming. TMI's live channel was pulled. Yes, we talked about that. Free TMI, his TMI live channel got terminated. Yes, we talked about that. That was literally the first thing we talked about. But I believe it's just, once again, another bot attack. And as soon as someone at YouTube actually reviews the case, they'll give him his channel back. Today's coming out, huge news for Wish. Can you check? I mean, I could look at it throughout the day. I didn't know about any news, though, related to Wish. Blood Moon today, make them bleed. BBIG got hit in the PM, turned stop loss off, utilization 100%. So I saw a little bit about that. Cootery, what were you saying? Lots of interesting stuff happening with BBIG. Funny articles coming out about the CEO resigning when really they moved over to a different company also owned by Vinco Ventures. Stock dropped like 20%. It's the last day to buy into the stock for their TYDE dividend, which I believe is coming at the end of December. But a lot of conflicting information is out there. Will be interesting day for BBIG. So it seems like we have some noteworthy developments going on with BBIG. So whatever it is, I'm not too up to date on that story, but as always, I think it is good advice. Whether you want to take it or not, that's up to you. What's your trading plan? What's your risk? What's your reward? How are you trying to play it? Stick to your plan. James, hey Matt, when you transfer from Robinhood to public and the transfer says complete, how long until you see your shares on public? It usually takes a day or two, just from what I've heard anecdotally. Right now, I'm in my own transfer from Webull to public. So when I go through it myself, I could give you the exact details, but it sounds like it could potentially take another day or two just for it to be properly reflected and showcased in the new account. Ding, ding, ding. The casino is open. Best of luck to all. All right, let's get going. Let's get going. Let's get going. Dingity ding ding ding. Best of luck to all. The bell finally went ding 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 on today, Wednesday, October 20th. Let's see what we have going on. Russell, weak out of the gate. Not so much for the SPY or AMC. SPY a little bit flat right there. This interesting. Usually you don't see this type of action going on. Such an obvious discrepancy between AMC and the Russell 2000. Maybe people are just getting the Russell on a sweet discount. SPY looking green. The Qs also looking green. We kind of saw this a little bit yesterday where the SPY and the Qs were both green, but IWM was essentially flat. What are your thoughts on SESN? I got in at 74 cents. SESN. SESN. I mean, you're up I'm not, it's biotech and it's a penny stock. I think that's a very difficult industry to trade unless you have some sort of special knowledge. You got in at a good price. Like, you're already up almost 100%. So, hey, like, if you want to use a trailing stop loss and just keep riding it up, kind of see how much the momentum will really carry it. I mean, that's, I congratulate you. It's not necessarily a play I would have gotten into. Just based on its sector, based on the price it's at. From a technical perspective, I do like this bullish pennant. It shot up, lower highs, higher lows, it broke out. You could let it ride. I mean, at that point, my mind would go right to a trailing stop loss, but it's just not my favorite. It's definitely not my favorite industry, and I just don't like messing around with penny stocks. But congrats, you crushed it. That's a very good trade. Oh, what else do we have? All right, I think I'm up to date on all of that. Do you see ETH coming back down under 2K? My buy zone I've missed twice now. Not any time in like, of course, in the future. I don't know your time frame, so maybe there's a bear market in crypto in, I don't, like, at some point generically in the future. I wouldn't count it out, but not in the short to medium time frame at all. There's just too many bullish developments in the world of crypto for me to like get on board with ETH somehow dropping below 2K in the short to medium term. Like I said, maybe at some point in the long term, we hit a bear crypto market or a bearish crypto market, and maybe it does then. But when we drop below 3K, and definitely when we drop below 2.5K, I mean, I publicly announced, I was like, this is crazy. I'm buying it just because I was like, this is a long-term investment. And now I do fully admit it bounced back way quicker than I would have ever imagined. But hey, that's crypto for you. For me, I'm not actively trading any crypto. I own it. I buy it on weakness. I own it. I'm sitting. It's a multi-year, potentially multi-decade play for me. I'm not going to take, and I'm up very nicely on some of my core crypto investments right now. I think actually the only one I'm actually down on is my Litecoin. But other than that, these gains are nice right now. But if my theory of where crypto's going in the long run pans out, these gains are just very, very small. So like, if I need to wait just a handful more years to get absurd gains, like hopefully multi 7-figure, oh yeah, I'll be patient and wait that out for sure. I can't with these thumbnails. Hey, I appreciate that. The team has been working very, very hard on those thumbnails, and I think they're some of the best thumbnails in all of finance. Like purely across the entire board of finance. I think these are top tier thumbnails. I'm so proud of what the team has been able to create with them. Can I check out the information on Wish? I could look it up. I haven't been Wish stock. I don't know what it is. I know it got an earning announcement a while ago, got completely rocked after that. What's the news on it? I'm not seeing any major news. I'm not seeing any new breaking news. Maybe it just is like a little bit behind on the news cycle, but just an arbitrary search of it, not seeing what I need. Does AMC trade in cycles? I think so. It depends on like what cycles you are looking at, but cycles are one of the most well-known, prominent things, I suppose, methodologies within the entire market. Many things have their various patterns and cycles, and so it depends which one you're looking at to know if that's a correct one or incorrect one. But in a general sense, can you find daily, weekly, monthly, seasonal patterns, money flow patterns within AMC? Without a doubt. That's not really a new thing. This has been well documented in especially the stock market now for decades. So I don't think AMC would be something that somehow deviates from that common pattern. Where else are we at? AMC, looking at this. Looking good. 41. Russell, what are you doing right here? Russell, what are you doing to us? AMC looking good. What else do we have? The Qs not looking the best. So really just the SPY is holding on, but the Qs and IWM a bit weak. ANY would prefer that this stays above 760. Very, very surprised that ANY is in the red right now just because Bitcoin is trading at 64,400. ETH is pushing 4,000, not far off from 4,000. Very surprised about ANY. SDC, you want that to recapture 6. PROG 270, you want that to recapture $3. Tesla taking a breather, I guess, before deliveries. Maybe people are not that optimistic about the delivery numbers, but it seems like Elon just always finds a certain way to deliver. BBIG currently down 10%, but kind of rallying back off after some of that news. When I don't fully understand the situation, I stay away from it. So this news, it seems to be something about the CEO moving from one company under the Vinco Ventures umbrella to another one and people reacting to that. When I don't fully understand what's going on, that just means that I'm not in the play, especially when it comes to something like BBIG. What else do we have? All right, let's go back to the SPY for now. SPY just very flat. IWM looking a bit weak. AMC looking a bit good. Love it, love it, love it, love it. On this one, AMC 41.85 is the first thing I'm paying attention to. So just south of 42. And then from there, once again, that gap fill that we already did the gap fill at, but now it's just clearly acting as resistance, 44.20. And GME, we're looking for the breakout of 190, followed by 196, and mainly 200. Let's check out the flow to start out the day. How are we looking there? AMC, the flow is bearish the first 8 minutes into the day. The bearish premium flow is 52% dominant. And for GME, it is once again bearish. The bearish flow is dominant to the tune of almost 59%. But remember, that's highly dynamic. It changes throughout the day. We are only 8 minutes into trading. This is exactly why I like to wait those first 15, 20, 30 minutes, see how things shake out, see how things are positioning, because generally at market opening, you just see a bunch of whipsaw. Sometimes you miss opportunities. That is a risk in not buying right at market open. But for me, and this is just my own personal trading methodology, I have found that over many, many trades, it is net beneficial for me to be specifically calm, cool, collected right at market open, just to see what's going on. All right, what else do we have going? ATR daily candles look good. Have a great day. ATER. I love that ATER is above, it got above, and it's holding above 915. It looks to me like the momentum is finally switching. If it can hold 915, I think it is legitimately putting 1125 into play. I'm just looking for it to hold that low 9 area, 9, 915, 920, exactly where it's at. Looks like we're getting out of this range-bound trading, hopefully switching that trend back upwards. Once again, that is for ATER. ATER. All right, AMC looking good, 41.13. Let's go back to the SPY. Just want to see what's really shaking out here. The SPY is holding, but man, the Russell is not. The Qs are not. Interesting. Maybe it's just that quick, that V-shaped thing that they like to do. They sell it off, people get a good fill, and then they end up riding it for the day. Could be one of those days. Could be one of those days. Let me get going with this. All right, we are good on Rumble. We are good on Twitch. It's always nice for me to check those things because now myself, I'm worried about whatever is going on with these like bot attacks. If, just so you know, when it's very, very smart that TMI has these backup channels, so he's still out there. It's to put all your eggs in one basket right now with how much our community gets attacked. I view that to be specifically like, I don't know. It's just not a safe mechanism. And that's exactly why I have the Kohrs like Clips channel. Obviously, it functions as a Clips channel, but it's also a backup YouTube. And then that's also why I'm on Twitch and Rumble, because I've never been taken down by Twitch or Rumble ever. But I've been taken down multiple times by YouTube. So it's nice just to have that fail safe kind of built in. Did shorts still not cover? correct. Shares on loan for AMC, 107 million. Shares on loan for GME is 8.44 million. And remember, that's just in stock. A lot of, as things are developing, this community is learning quite a bit. And I would say over the past week or 2 weeks, the main thing that we're learning is this concept of naked shorting is not playing out in the stock market. They are finding various loopholes that are legal loopholes of basically creating these short positions, but in the world of options. So when people are talking about naked shorts, it's very, very reasonable for you to be like, well, hang on, if it's a naked short, it should come up in an FTD. But the most recent FTD report is a relatively low magnitude for both AMC and GME. And the reasoning for that is because this shorting, these overall bearish bets are more so seen in these deep in the money, out of the money options in the market. They're basically creating not synthetic in the way of like a synthetic share, synthetic as in through options, they're representing a net negative or a net positive bet. And that's why it's going there. And that's it's what we're seeing. And you could understand more about this in the Mark Cohodes interview. He explained it in far more detail. But the naked short, I don't think the community should any longer be on the page of thinking of naked short as in a direct stock bet. I think we should be thinking about it more so in the options market. To me, that's what the data is currently suggesting. And now that we're learning how this game is played a bit more and the community's developing, I mean, the apes are very much like a hive mind of information. It seems like that's clearly where the information is pointing us at this moment. BITO, people are saying BITO is moving. It is very much moving. And crypto, 65. Oh, whoa. New all-time high. Bitcoin, new all-time high. Ding, ding, ding. Dingity, ding, ding, ding. The apes are coming. Stocks and Bitcoin. Stocks. The apes are coming. Stocks and how do I stock and Bitcoin's new high. That's awesome. That is so cool. Congratulations if you're in crypto. Look at that. Just ripping. Look at Bitcoin just going. Wow, 65,000. I remember just getting out of college, starting my job. And I remember at that moment in time, I was like, should I buy a Bitcoin? I was like, nah, $15,000 seems expensive. If only I understood what was going on. If only I understood. That is crazy. That is absolutely phenomenal. So look how similar these two are. And it's because BITO is tracking Bitcoin futures and they commonly move in a very, very similar manner. Let's wait for Ethereum to hit 4K, about to hit 4K. AMC moving up, GME moving up, Ethereum moving up, Bitcoin moving up, green. I love it. We're looking for AMC to get up to 41.85. We're looking for GME to start testing 188 to 190. And we're looking Bitcoin. We're now letting price discovery play itself out. This is an untested level of supply and demand. We don't know where the buyers are. We don't know where the sellers are. We're at a new price level. This is literally, you're watching price discovery play itself out in real time on Bitcoin. New all-time high. Congrats if you are getting a piece of it. Congrats if you are getting it. AMC, looks like we have a double top right here at 41.40 thus far. GME report said not a lot of shorts covered in January. How's it possible that the risk department didn't force them to cover? I know some covered, but not all, because they never have it's super rare that they have a direct short position. They're going to hedge it. And a lot of people are saying, if you read through the report, a lot of people are saying that the shorts didn't cover, or no shorts covered or something like that. Shorts still covered, obviously some covered, but the report, if you look at the metrics, it's saying just that a high majority of the buying was not shorts buying to cover. Yes, some shorts covered. You can see that in the drop off of the short interest. For the short interest to drop, obviously shorts cover. But the main takeaway, or one of the main takeaways for me in that report, was saying that that was buying to create a position driven. It was retail driven and not shorts covering driven. Like, it's just the pure metrics. Where was the buying coming from? Yes, of course, a small amount came from shorts covering, and especially like the fallout into February, March, you saw a drastic drop off in short interest. Yeah, at some point shorts were covering, especially related to GME. But what was driving the price movement was retail buying, which to me is even more problematic then. It's exponentially more problematic because the thing that was driving it, it just got pulled out from under us. They stopped it. They stole the buy button. They stole billions of dollars. They would have some sort of logical argument if in that movement in late January, it's a more cohesive argument to say, look, we have the metrics, all the shorts covered right here. The gamma squeeze was over. So even if people could buy, it wouldn't have moved much more because the demand just wouldn't have been there. But in truth, the reality was the exact opposite. What had moved it to that point was people creating a position by buying, not shorts really covering. As in, short squeeze and a gamma squeeze were still very much on the table. And within a couple days, as in like 1 or 2 more trading days, if the buy button was not stolen, I strongly, every ounce of my being believes that GameStop would have been trading in the thousands of dollars. And I think that AMC would have been trading in the probably hundreds of dollars, it just 1 or 2 more days later, if the buy button was not taken away. I think it was going that way because the shorts didn't cover yet. A majority of the shorts didn't cover yet. We didn't see the effects of a gamma squeeze. The SEC report says that a gamma squeeze was even less likely. From the resources and the data of the SEC, we just know that the game was ended in inning 2. That's where we were, and they just stopped the game completely. I'm a big Freddy fan. Wish they would make a 2022 film. Shout out. Hey, Matt, love your channel and this movement. Can you look at Dogeland Mars crypto, and would you consider eating a cran when AMC sets an all-time high? I'll look into that crypto. As for the cran, I mean, I guess it depends on the flavor, of course. Do you think you may be the next target of YouTube bots to be taken down soon? Could be, but I'm more than prepared for it. And my conversations with YouTube is like, it's very problematic for YouTube when that happens to me. So I hope that they give me a bit more leeway because it does seem to become a big debacle from them of just even my attitude when I talk with them directly, and also the issue that it becomes on even Twitter. Like, it blows up. It was trending. The last time it happened, it was trending number 1, number 2 on US Twitter. It's a big PR issue when they take down anyone from the AMC community, especially when it's obviously like inappropriate and unwarranted. But if I am the next target, I have no idea if I'm the next target. If I go down, if my stream automatically cuts, I'm on Rumble, I'm on Twitch. I now have the basis built out where I'm still going to be somewhere. Just so you know, above me, Matt_Kohrs, that is my Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. On YouTube and on Rumble, I'm just Matt Kohrs, but it's verified. So YouTube, Rumble, I'm verified. I have the check mark, Matt Kohrs. But the other social media that I'm not verified on, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, just Matt_Kohrs. It's nothing else. It's not Matt Kohrs official, Matt Kohrs LLC, nothing like that. Always double check the name. There's a very specific reason why I leave it up all stream so everyone knows what it is. It's Matt_Kohrs. Lucid, what's going on with Lucid? Lucid up 1%, having seemingly a decent day. I like Lucid. I think it's a good luxury EV play in the US. I think it's more exciting above 28, but I am personally a fan of Lucid. ATER, I hardly know her. Can you check out ASX? What do you have? Technologies. very lightly traded. It's a $7 stock that trades only 200,000 shares. A low interest stock that looks weak. No, I wouldn't play it. And if I had to play it, I would probably bet against it. Hey, Steve, we keep hearing that shorts didn't cover in January. If that's true, how did the short interest in GME go from 140% to 20%? That's not a small amount of coverage. That's 120% of the float. No, those did cover. If you look into the report, it's saying that the majority of buying was people buying to create a position, not shorts covering the position. Obviously, from sometime of January to March, quite a few shorts had to cover. That's how short interest drops. On Spotify, I can't just play music like that. That's a way you can actually get taken down if you're not getting the rights to certain music and you get DMCA. They can take down your stream for that. I guess I'm just disheartened. If GME at 500 didn't force them to cover, what will? I know it sounds like a great question, but I'm trying to understand. I mean, at a certain point, they're going to hit a risk tolerance, and it's a different risk tolerance for different hedge funds. Like, I think people think of hedgies as a monolith of like all hedgies cover here, all hedgies do this. No, it's very, very different. They're going to hedge in different ways. They're going to have a different form of risk tolerance. They're going to play the situation differently. And I think people, and I see why, I guess it's just easier to think of them as a monolith of like all hedgies doing this, but in reality, that's just not how it plays out. Even the different market makers are going to handle the situations differently. I guess for me, my mindset on this whole thing over the past 10 months has been switching quite a bit. And I think that some people are still thoroughly interested. And in fact, they're exclusively interested in the squeeze and making money. My main focus is fixing the issues with Wall Street. And I think a side effect of that, the chance of a side effect of that would be the MOAS. Like, my number one goal is not just to take this bet and hopefully I make a lot of money and that's it. Like, that's not what I'm necessarily in this for at this moment. Do I want that to happen? Of course. Why would I not want more money? I'm not saying here that like I'm some perfect like Mother Teresa, like altruistic player that doesn't want any money. I would love for these to squeeze to the absolute moon and I become a multi-millionaire. I just think it's more reasonable to get that to happen with regulatory change and not for everyone just to like be doing the exact same things we've seen over the past 10 months. Think about this. And it's Albert Einstein's quote. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and looking for a new result, hoping for a new result. If as a community, we do the exact same things we've done over the past 10 months, why should we be able to expect a different result? It doesn't make sense. Do I regret where any of our time was spent? No, not at all, because it got us to this level. My question, what I think about day in and day out, is how to get to the community to the next level. And I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I think it's a reasonable bet that we just need to show up in the polls. We need to vote. Of course, I'm going to be a big fan of just people voting in general because everyone's voice should be heard. But I think we just need to have an organized group. We need to be a very highly organized, articulate, mature voting block. That's how we start to make change. We show up and as a voting block and we get the people into the seats, into the office that we need them to get to, who are good players, who are looking to combat market manipulation. And this is obviously for my particular channel, Matt Kohrs, and then us, the Moon Gang. October has very much been the month of flux, of a lot of things changing. And I think that's a good thing. I think people are anti-change and it's upsetting, but change is good. That means we're developing. That means we're maturing. And to me, I don't want to just be talking the talk. I'm attempting to walk the walk. I'm never going to try to espouse some fancy Matt Kohrs rant or just a generic feeling that like I wouldn't do myself. So when I'm saying this of more mature, articulate, that's exactly why I'm doing these interviews with Lisa Branganza. That's exactly why I'm doing these interviews with Mark Cohodes. That's exactly why I have more interviews with awesome people coming up in the future, because the more people, highly respected people with certain expertise in certain pockets related to the market that are on our side, the better. Another prong of the overall effort is directly talking with senators. Yesterday, I saw that a senator from my home state, Pennsylvania, Pat Toomey, he was talking about GameStop, and like he seemed to be in agreement with us on the settlement cycle, but not the other things. So I reached out. You got to be diplomatic. If you're just angry and calling people out and making fun of them, that's not going to make them talk with you. I'm being diplomatic, and I'm attempting to get that conversation with Pat Toomey rolling, which is funny that he already talked on Twitter yesterday, because a couple days before that, I reached out to his office. I wrote an email to his staff to see if I could get that conversation. I'm not that far away from Harrisburg. If they name a time and a place, I will be there. Whatever needs to be done. If they need me to go to DC, I mean, I don't care. I'll drive, I'll train, I'll get my own hotel. I do not care. I'll talk to whatever government official I need to talk to just to get the ball rolling. And I would love the opportunity, not just to talk with one representative, one senator, but I want to talk to ones on both sides of the aisle, because we need to present this as a bipartisan effort. I think that is very, very key. We can't get this muddied down where it's like, oh, it's a Republican thing, or, oh, it's a Democrat thing. We have to show that this is just a good, positive development for the world, for anyone engaging in Wall Street. We can't let this get muddied down by like some political regime. Matt, doing the footwork to set up the success, not only in AMC, but for all market fairness, we should have a level playing field to make money. Yeah, I mean, I think some people are myopically focused on AMC and or GME. I think on a personal note, yes, I'm still in AMC. I'm still in GME. I'm still long on both. That's not changing. If anything, I'll just become more long. But for me, realizing what's going on right now, like I've said, like I feel like a special, I guess like a special duty to this group with the platform that I've been so fortunate to be gifted from all of you, that I can't just sit here in good conscience being like, oh, like I'm just gonna sit here and hope to make money off this squeeze, and like that's gonna be it. If we're noticing that something horrific is going on, like I'm attempting to bring this fight to the next level. Like I don't think just sitting here will specifically focusing on two stocks, I don't think that's going to enact the change or that we truly desire. I just don't see it. Maybe it will. And I know some people are of the opinion that the MOAS is the thing that will enact change. I think of it the other way around. I think we have to enact change, and then the side effect of that could be the MOAS. That's how I think of it in my mind. And I think it makes more sense because we've already seen these crazy things go on. We've seen GME move from sub 20 all the way up to 500. We've seen AMC move from sub 5 up to 72, 77 if you count extended hours trading. And we got stopped there. So like if we're still working in that same framework, if we're still playing by those same rules, what's stopping the current Wall Street powers from messing things over again? So I think we need to better change the rules of the game to get the outcome that we think is an accurate display of supply and demand. ETH, ding, 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 ding. Ethereum is breaking 4,000. Congrats to all traders and investors. And also Bitcoin breaking 66,000. My crypto account right now, the tendies going on in this crypto account, wild, 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 wild. Whoa. So TMI just texted me. It seems like this one, it still could be a different form of bot attack, but it's not the harmful and dangerous one. I'm just shooting him a text to see if there's anything I could do to help. Matt said he feels like a special duty. Shout out Kinky Kong. What's going on? Can you look at HUT? You are the best. So HUT is another crypto miner. Not the biggest fan of it. wait, I think mining. At that point, why not play crypto directly? And now none of us really have an excuse when you could just play BITO if you don't want to have a crypto account. Mining companies were kind of a nice caveat, or like a nice related, I shouldn't say a caveat, a nice tangential way to play crypto, but you also had the interbusiness competition. At this point with BITO, or just make a crypto wallet. Do you know how easy it is to make a Voyager account, a Coinbase account, a Gemini account? Super, super easy right here. I know some of you will have issues, but a high majority of you, if you just download Voyager to your phone, it's a phone app. You throw in that code MAT21, you should be up and running today. If you trade $100 of any crypto, you get an extra $25 of Bitcoin. Super, super easy. And that's Voyager. If that's for US residents, it's not for people in New York. If you want something that is also a web app, check out Coinbase. It's in the description. Check out Gemini. It's in the description. Those are the three that I can get you a kickback for. Beyond that, the ones I don't have that are so highly respected: Kraken, KuCoin, Binance, Uphold, Gate.io. There's so many. You just got to make an account on one and you could get rocking if you want some of these insane crypto gains. This is absolutely ridiculous. More so, don't forget about public.com/Matt Kohrs. I still strongly believe one of the biggest issues that we're facing as a market is the duopoly, kind of monopoly of market making from Citadel Securities. One of the biggest things we have to push for is all these purchases being done on a lit exchange. I get it. Back in the start of the year, I was on Robinhood. A little bit after that, I switched to Webull. I'm not saying I'm perfect because I'm learning with you. And now we learn about the issues related to so many trades not being done on a lit exchange. I think Public's the easiest one to do it with, but it doesn't have options trading. So if you want that, maybe look at TDA, maybe look at Fidelity. On both of those, just make sure that you're actually routing your orders. When you get to TDA, when you get to Fidelity, you have to manually route your orders. So just make sure you're doing that. There's a couple of videos like content creators have put out there, videos. But one of my pet peeves is I see so many people that are respected in this community who are arguing that they're for the apes and the cause and fixing like manipulation. But then we can just see that they're on Webull. We can see it's one thing if you want to use Webull for their charting. It's one thing if you want to use Webull to see the options chain. But I'm talking about you can see these creators buying on Webull, like actively buying. We know you are lining the pockets of Ken Griffin. It makes no sense to be happy about your purchase on Robinhood or Webull, and then you're like, that is positioned right by you saying or posting a video anti-Citadel, anti-Ken Griffin. You're directly benefiting Ken Griffin. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm so petty that I have issues with that. And I'm just like, well, I don't like that guy, so I'm not going to make him money. So I'm going to trade off of that platform. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm more petty than the average duck out there. But does anyone notice how weird that is? How can you possibly be like, I don't like Ken Griffin, I don't like Citadel, I don't like payment for order flow, but then they're like bragging about their purchases on something that's directly benefiting them? It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe that's a part of the fight that doesn't really resonate with you and you don't care about what venue you're trading on. Okay, whatever. To each their own. I'm not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't be campaigning for. I'm here to share my own personal thoughts on things. Maybe you find some other aspect of the market to be more egregious, and that's what you're fighting to get changed. And like, that's where your mind says, hey, we're all entitled to our own opinion. I just think it's very, very interesting that people could be so anti-market makers, so anti-Citadel, and then they're still trading on Robinhood, still trading on Webull. Like I said, like the concept of throwing rocks when you live in a glass house. Have I traded on Robinhood? Yes, I've traded a lot on Robinhood. Have I traded on Webull? Yes, I've traded a lot on Webull. But over the time, you learn more and more. And like, I realized what I was doing in the past is not necessarily best for the future. So you change your action. Sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you make a mistake. You man up, you accept it, you explain, and you truly understand what you did wrong. And then you move on. I think many of us had no clue about market makers or payment for order flow at the start of this year. We're all learning as a community. And as you learn more, as you take in new information, you make better decisions. That's life. That is life. We're building a social network like StockQuicks, but 100% dedicated to crypto. Love to get you on and verified. Let's talk about it. Crypto community. Hey, that sounds fun. Yeah, shoot me a DM somewhere. I've changed my name and almost every trading company can't find my identity, so I'm forced to use trash ones. Oh, that's like, I think like the KYC, the know your customer. I think if you just give them your like government backed name, I think you should be good. Started my transfer from Webull to TD TOS on Thursday. Everything showed up yesterday and able to trade. $75 fee will be reimbursed once 100% complete. Yeah, so I'm at, I think, day 9 right now. So I ran through the days. I was talking about this in the Discord yesterday with all of those awesome apes. And I think I'm on day 9. So my transfer, when you're transferring from Webull to public, some people are very fortunate and it happens in like 2 to 3 days. It appears as if mine is going to take the maximum 10 days. And I think today is day 9. Day 9, yeah. And my transfer has not gone through yet. I still see all my shares that are sitting there on Webull, but I'm on day 9 of allegedly a max of 10-day transfer window. And I did it. I did 2 things at once. I set up my transfer for my entire Webull account to public. And then the other thing I did was I deposited money in public just to see what would be faster, the transfer or depositing money and buying. And depositing money and buying took me 2 days. That's been done. And now I'm just like, the transfer is still going. When you do that, just understand there's a very good argument that there could be various tax implications, as in negative implications. That's something you have to consider. That's something you have to look into. But if you mainly care about expediency, it does seem faster to just like deposit money and buy, just so everyone knows. Started my transfer, has been in my hood for a long time. AMC has been in my hood for a long time transfer. So with it, if you already own shares, so I'm talking about new purchases, because if you already own the shares, you already engaged in payment for order flow, probably like unbeknownst to you. It's not necessarily where your shares sit, it's how you get those shares. So if you already bought shares and you don't really plan on like getting for your future purchases, it's all about your purchases in the future. I would say look at it on a better brokerage. But if you already own it and like they're just sitting there, well, the purchase is already done. So you're not really doing anything anymore at that point. Like they're just sitting on the brokerage. But in more of a general sense, you said yours are sitting on hood. I would just be careful with that because that's a company I do not trust whatsoever. As Mark Cahotis would say, he would not trust Vlad Tenev to run a lemonade stand. Is it hard for them to find shares during the transfer? I mean, they already hard to find shares. Like they already have the shares if you have that ownership in the account. My dude, have you noticed that there's all spam in the chat? It become trash and your mards are overworked unrest. Like I don't even see members, no green names. Is there spam? Mods, shoot me a message if there's like an excessive amount or something's going on. I see some green names. Is this like a tech issue? What do we have? Don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. I think it's looking good to me, Jeremy. I'm green member here. Yeah, they're all here. Looks good. Looks good. Ethereum now above 4,000. Bitcoin at 66,000. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. AMC sitting just south of 41. What do you think of Piton? I got in at 85 and it looks like it's making a solid recovery. Piton, sitting at 92 right now. Nice gap up, coming back around. Yeah, my first watch on this one would be 96. Obviously be careful of the gap below it, but bearish, then it went flat. Now it seems to be swinging back around. It's just, you're seeing how much momentum it could build up, and I would see if it could break out of 96, but nice trade there. What do we have? What is the cost to borrow on Btcm? I could check that out for you. Btcm. Bit Mining Limited. The cost to borrow is 305%. That is incredible. Morning, Matt. The game hasn't changed, right? Shorts haven't covered and people still own synthetic, correct? Or are we missing something? So the synthetic thing, ownership of synthetic shares, it does not mean much. I don't know where that's getting overstated. Like, a share is a share. It's not like it's ever designated anywhere as a real share or a synthetic share. A synthetic share is the argument that you got a share from a naked share like sale. But right now the FTD's numbers are not that high. So a normal naked share, a normal naked short, no, we're not dealing in the world of normal naked shorts anymore. Like I said, and this is like a huge takeaway. Whoa, AMC on the move. A huge takeaway from the Mark Hodison interview is it's more of it's a quasi naked short, but it's all done in the options market. So the synthetic thing, I don't know why people are getting so laser focused on that, because there's no way to know a real share versus a fake share at all. That is not designated anywhere at all at any point in time. Your shares are never going to get taken away from you for being synthetic. That's not a thing. A lot of focus on the synthetic thing. So in your question, I think it's more reasonable just the shorts haven't covered. No, we know on AMC, there's 107 million shares out on loan, and that's not the exact same as short. It's estimated that there's 85. Remember, you can take them out on loan without going short, but they're going to be pretty correlated. As one goes up, the other tends to go up. And then on GME, we have 8.44 million out on loan. Those are stock shares that are out on loan. Representation of equities that are out on loan, that gives you no indication of the current structure in the options market. And as of now, as we're learning, it seems like it's really, really interesting to take a deep dive into what's happening or not happening in the options market for both AMC and GME. Thoughts on Snap earnings tomorrow? I have not looked at Snap in a hot minute. It's at $76. Oh, it's just flat. Seems kind of boring. Just range bound. It's been range bound ever since the last earnings gap up in end of July. So I would have no real thought. Like, it just seems flat. GME getting spanked at 186 down to 184. ETH still looking good. All right, I think we are good here. Sign up with Voyager on September 7th. They say my account is still pending and it could take up to 12 weeks. And if you contact them, it could further delays. Ever heard of it taking this long? Yeah, so some people, it depends on the state you're in. So I did it in Pennsylvania. When I first heard of Voyager way back, like in May, when Doge was running, I was like, how can I get Doge? People were like, Voyager. I was like, what's that? They're like, it's an app. I got the app. And from the moment I heard about Voyager to successfully owning Doge, it took me about 30 minutes, but it is different because different states have different forms of KYC and they also have different pending wait lists. I've heard of people on Voyager, it goes faster. Some people have just reapplied and the next one went very, very quick. So it could be a technical issue, but if you're waiting for too long, check out Coinbase, check out Gemini. Like, there's various things, especially if you're in the US, if that one's just taking a bit too long. Definitely a valid option too. I mean, I have an account and money on Voyager, Coinbase, and Gemini, using all of them. Where are we at? Right here. All right. People are saying that IWM is moving. It does appear to be moving very, very nicely. Look at IWM. A little bit of weirdness this morning, but now we're setting up on a inverse head and shoulders on AMC. Here's the shoulder. Here's the head. Here's the other shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, inverse, or you could call it a cup and handle, or you could call it a wedge, same high, higher lows. Like, it depends on how you want to look at it. But regardless, in the intraday time frame, we're seeing 3 different bullish technical structures. We're looking for this breakout of 4140. It's very interesting that the 4130 to 4140 level has become more important recently to AMC than the 4180, which I would have definitely predicted that would have been the more important one. But anyway, the level of supply is being found at 4130, 4140. We're looking for that breakout, follow through. Then we're basically watching just below 42, and then really 4420 once again, the low 44s. And then from there, we're talking 47.50. BTC looking great. ETH holding 4K. Love it, love it, love it. GameStop getting smacked a little bit right now. What's going on with GameStop? Someone's selling GameStop. All right, we are good in the hood. All good in the hood. Seeing a lot of green, a lot of money making opportunities, folks. Please talk about Moomoo. I think Moomoo does payment for order flow. Let me double check that. I don't know that. Hang on, let me look it up. Let me see. Is the U.S. securities investment are not insured. My gut feeling is that Moomoo is not your best option. And I don't like how they're not forthcoming. I don't know. Does anyone know off the top of their head if Moomoo is or isn't payment for order flow? What do we have? I'm trying to find out any of this information on Moomoo. Not easily found. I found this Medium article. Where is this one? Moomoo. The practice is really important. Most brokerages are more or less connected to the big 4 brokerages in North America one way or another. We see this manifesting even in Singapore, where Tiger Brokers and Futu Holdings Moomoo route their orders to Interactive Brokers Clearinghouse before the order is eventually sent to North America exchanges. So I do not like this. The Moomoo does not seem to be based in the US. It's manifesting in Singapore, where Tiger Brokers and Futu route their orders. So it's going from an international location to Interactive Brokers, and then they have that connection. So that tells me that they're not FDIC insured. I would need to do a bit more of a deep dive, but before you put money on Moomoo, just double check that you actually are insured by the FDIC, because if you have an issue with money being lost from an international company, it's very, very difficult to get back then at that point.
Whoa, brother.
But this was a light look into Moomoo. Don't hold me to any of that. I'm just saying, do your research on it. Please do your research on it. What's your referral code on Public? You just have to go to public.com, Matt Kohrs. It's in the description, or Matt, MATTKOHRS, but public.com, Matt Kohrs. That's how you get up to the $70 of free stock. Up to $70 of free stock. Just public.com/Matt Kohrs. It's in the description. Oh, I forgot about this. Usually it's pinned to the top. Pinned to the top right now is new. I've been using it. You guys know me. Sometimes I'm going Coach Kohrs, getting back into hopefully more of a fit lifestyle. And I signed up and they're like, hey, you have a YouTube channel. I was like, I do have a YouTube channel. They're like, do you want to give your viewers a free examination and a free 7-day trial? I was like, okay. And sweet. And I was like, sweet. So if you want free Noom, it's a free trial, a free examination, a free whatever evaluation, I should say, free evaluation, free 7-day trial. It's kind of cool. I've been using it. I've been on it now for a couple weeks as I'm trying to take out DSS as the number one stair stepper at my gym. But that's what's pinned to the top of chat right now. People are saying something about Matic. What's going on with Matic? $1.50. I love Matic at these levels. That's perking up. Solana went, oh, nice. My crypto investments are looking good right now. Shiba, I'd like that to break 30. The bounce in Hex, would like for Hex to get back over 38. Doge also looking good at 25. Cardano also, all of crypto's picking up. Crypto. Money today. That's awesome. And let's hope that there's money in these moon stocks not far behind. AMC looking good. I like the cup. Looks like we're making a handle. Beautiful setup. GME, for whatever reason, got hit. I would recommend myself just paying attention to this trend line. IWM pushing. SPY. Where's the SPY? SPY also pushing. Man, are we going to hit a new SPY all-time high today? It's $2 off. Holy guacamole, Holy guacamole. Someone just said pressure cooker. Holy guacamole, Batman. We are seeing some movement. Loved your NFT video last week. Per my email, the AMC Ape Army NFT collection launched last night. The Genesis platoon of 69,000 apes are available on OpenSea for 0.0069 ETH. We got ducks, tulips, lamps, and Titan. Hodl, apes, monkey man. You don't got a chair NFT in there? You got to get a chair, but that's awesome. So it's the Genesis platoon, 69,000 apes, OpenSea. We got ducks, tulips, lamps. That's so cool. Man, I got to get one of those. Can you check out IO, please? More than happy to. IO, what is this? Package software, a gap up, and now it's kind of chop. I mean, I don't like chasing gap ups, and right now, like, I don't see a pure trend on it. So whatever you do, just be careful about this gap fill to the downside. If it breaks below $1.85, be careful about a flush to $1.40. And if it keeps going, you're looking for the breakout of 225/235. Man, I don't think the risk reward is here on this one. The risk is high and the reward is like, the resistance is pretty close, as in the reward's pretty close. I just don't think the risk reward paradigm is that solid. All right, let's go back to ETH crushing it. Wish is on the move. What is going on with Wish? Whoa, it is on the move, up 11%. Look at this. Wish, you're watching 630. If you're in it, just so everyone knows, I have no Wish position. 666, 775, and then eventually, hopefully, this gap fill if you're in Wish. But you have some serious resistance to take out before then, 934. All right. IWM really pushing. I'm looking for this explosion in AMC just on the intraday cup handle. Perfect technical setup. I mean, why not? Win in Rome. Wish is looking good. I would watch 630 personally, but like I said, no position on it. ETH looks like it wants to break and rally. Bitcoin still above 6. Wow. What a day. What a day in the market. Look at the SPY. The SPY, the all-time high is 454.05. We're at 452. We're 0.5% away, less than 0.5% away from an all-time high. Money. BITO looking great. Obviously, with Bitcoin running, that makes sense. IWM would love to see 227.70, so another 70 cent push in the Russell 2000 to resistance. Q's in the middle, somewhere between 374, 378. That's what I'd be paying attention to. Wow. IWM looks like it's going to keep, just wants to test 2. Oh, it's getting rejected at that psychological level. Notice this. See how many day traders put in their sell order right before 227? Look at on a 10-minute time frame. Rejected. Why? Well, there's extra supply there. Why is there extra supply there? Because it's humans. Humans love those nice round levels. So they're like, I'll sell at 227. I got in at 225 and some change. That's a nice day trade. They're done with work and it's not even an hour of trading. They're like, oh, okay, I wrote it up. Like, time to go watch Netflix. Very much what you're seeing there. And then some algorithms as well. They're noticing that it's a key psychological level. And I'm not saying that's going to be the full rejection. I'm just pointing out, hang on, it makes sense that it's getting smacked at a nice round level. A lot of times this is humans and robots, and right now you have a lot of humans that are like, that's a cool day trade, in, out, bada bing, bada boom, let me take my money and go on and watch some TV. What are your thoughts about AT&T? AT&T, ticker symbol T, getting absolutely slaughtered lately. I would not try to catch that falling knife until I actually see demand. I don't want to be the person who's going to be like the first buyer on that one. What is your take on the government being able to look into your bank account if you spend more than $600 to $10,000 a month? Is this a way to make sure that there is their share of the squeeze? Make sure they make their share of the squeeze. I don't think it has anything to do with this squeeze. I think it's just another clear representation that our government loves to abuse its power and overreach. Like, are you kidding me? $600? They want to know that? Which, I don't know. The government loves to do this. They run right up to the line of using their power of what they can. And then public's like, whoa. We don't think you should have that power. And then they're like, okay, that's where the line is. Then they wait. They let things simmer down and then they run it again. They see where the current line is. And the government is very, very much, you give them an inch and they do their damnedest to take a mile. I know this is very libertarian sounding of me, but any general notion to give our government more power, my innate first instinct will to be against it. They have too much power. The government's supposed to work for us. And it more so feels like we're working for them, in the sense that, like, their view on us is that we're like their little ants in their overall ant kingdom. To my understanding, that's not what government's supposed to be there for. There are very important government services that I understand why we have that, why we need that. But no. If you see some sort of political development, 9 times out of 10, if it somehow relates to giving them more power, more oversight, more ability to look into our lives, I am going to be against that. I don't care if it's Democratic. I don't care if it's Republican. That's just a moral thing for me. Is I just don't think that's how government's supposed to function. Anything I've ever learned in my history classes throughout middle school and high school is things go downhill very, very quickly when you give government more and more power, because they're egomaniacs. I don't care. Once again, this is not a left thing. This is not a right thing. To aspire to the highest levels of government, you are an egomaniac. You are a narcissist. Maybe you started out your political career bright-eyed, attempting to change the world for the better. But to be a career politician tells me something's wrong in their brain. No one's getting to that level. Like I said, I'll stand by that. I don't care. I believe they're egomaniacs. I believe they're narcissists. I don't think that there's anyone who's aspired to the highest levels of government that, like, I would consider to, like, have their head on straight. It just does not make sense to me. And of course, when you get to that level, that's the ultimate level of power. And then they want more power and more power and more power. And it blows my mind when people vote on certain bills and laws and are campaigning for things. They're like, yeah, no, we want that extra oversight. No way. I understand I'm not an anarchist. I'm not saying no government, never. No, I understand the role, the critical role of certain aspects of government, but I also understand that they're going to use any and every opportunity to overstep. And I'm never, ever going to be supportive of that. Treat politicians like dogs. Shock collar. Being a libertarian is basically neutral. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I mean, I just don't like the buckets. I mean, I have some libertarian ideas. I have some Democratic ideas. I have some Republican ideas. And everyone likes to get boxed. It's easier. It's like, well, if you have this thought, you have to be like, I feel like every political cycle, we're getting farther and farther away from people having critical thought. Just because you believe with one particular ideology of one certain political fraction, that doesn't mean you have to agree with all of them. And it's weird because we're now in this game of identity politics and just politics in general, where that's what people think. And I think that is very, very bad because it cuts down on critical thought. I think every issue should be thought about, and you might agree with some on one side, some on the other. Maybe you don't agree with any on a certain one. It's okay to have a myriad of thoughts. That shows that you're thinking for yourself. And I unfortunately think that's becoming less and less, and people feel boxed because of one thought they have. They're like, well, I have this thought, I have to be of political party X now. That's not true. It's okay to have diverse thought. That shows that you have a brainstem and you're actually thinking. So sorry I'm going on that rant, but Matt Stuck Suspenders, what is my take on the government being able to look at my bank account for $600? I'm against it. I think it's stupid, and I think it honestly is making the argument for crypto even stronger. As governments continue to overstep on being I guess having full insight into all of your personal finances, that you're going to see people saying this is bullshit, and they're going to be going more and more to crypto where there's less governmental oversight. Where do we have? Someone said, sorry, Charlie tweeted. Bitcoin. Dave Lauer, December 6th, 2013. Bitcoin looking to break through 800 again. BTC. That's awesome. That's so cool. All right. What did Charlie Gasparino say? Charles Gasparino. Scoop. AMC teases change to movie chain's business model, but mum on details. Well, yeah, we saw that when he got embarrassed by Liz Clayman last night. I actually broke the story last week, and I reported the pushback from GOP commissioners, and some staff caused the report to be watered down. Yeah, so there were two SEC commissioners, not the chairman, two commissioners who kind of wrote, and I discussed this in the Power Hour stream. Oh, just for all of you listeners, just so you know, it does seem like there's by high demand back to the Power Hour stream. So just so everyone knows, it seems like we're getting into the nice methodology of 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, especially shout out to the people on the West Coast or just anyone listening right now. We're expanding. It seems like there was the demand for it to kind of do a morning prep and then like a morning recap in Power Hour. Happy to do it, and really just happy to show off the various thumbnails we got going. So if I'm being truly honest, I just like the thumbnails. So why not put out more content? So just so you know, it seems like, I don't know. It seems like we are taking it kind of week by week, month by month, but the going notion is right now a stream from 9 to 11. I hang out in the Discord midday, and then we do a Power Hour stream, and then the important clips and wrap-ups end up getting posted to Kohrs Lite, but the streams, both streams are on YouTube, Twitch, and Rumble. Just so everyone knows, that's the going thing. So for the people who don't know that, there is a Power Hour stream. Just so you know, there is a Power Hour stream. Hey, Matt, what are your thoughts on Bitcoin IRA app? Thanks for all you do. IRA app. I don't know much about that, so I don't know if I can comment. Hashtag critical role D&D. FYI semantics, government, Democratic, pool party, Democrat. Oh, well, yeah, sorry for misspeaking. Charlie and Liz flirted on air for years. Maybe Liz isn't selling out her soul anymore. Oh, man. Oh, man. IWM ripping, Bitcoin ripping, Ethereum ripping. Hopefully Cardano gets ripping. Doge looking good. Hex, I need that to look better. Shiba holding out at 27. Solana ripping. Polygon, the Matic network ripping. Money. AMC, we're looking for the follow through on the cup handle, inverse head and shoulders, the wedge, whatever you want to call it. We want to see that test of the high 41s. From there, if we get that breakout of 42, very much watching 44.20 once again. very, very much paying attention to that. Congrats to all the crypto holders. You must have the biggest smile on your face, and you deserve it. For me, I have quite a bit of a Bitcoin, quite a bit of Ethereum, at least for my portfolio size. Some people would think it's a lot. Other people would think it's peanuts. But for me, it's quite a bit, and I'm very, very happy. I think the crypto portfolio is fortunately up like 100% this year. I'm as giddy as a little schoolgirl. Can you check or text on PROG short interest and cost to borrow? Yes, happy to. PROG. From a technical perspective, you're looking for PROG to get back above $3. At least that's what I'd argue. I have no PROG position. The cost to borrow is 147%, utilization 95%, shares on loan 34 million, and the current estimated short interest is just below 66%. Once again, that is for PROG, ticker symbol PROG. What are your thoughts on Lucid? Lucid, I like it as a long-term investment. I'm a fan of the EV sector. I think EV is a very obvious layup play for the remainder of this decade. I truly, truly believe that. I'm a fan of Lucid. I think it's a strong way for the luxury market. They have good-looking cars. Luxury EV play within the US, I think Lucid's a nice one. In terms of automakers, Tesla and Lucid are currently my favorite. NIO used to be up there, but as the political tensions continue to get more complex between the US and China, NIO is kind of dropping out of my favoritism, just because, not because of the company, but because of politics. What's your favorite long-term play? And sincerely, thanks for your channel, best education information. Hey, I appreciate that. So I don't know if I have a singular best one, but I could give you industries that I think are all going to grow for the remainder of the decade, as in make you money. EV, obviously one. Crypto, definitely. Sports gambling, online sports betting, DraftKings, Penn National. Yes, love those. Esports, love esports, whether you're talking software, hardware, the industry is growing, growing, growing. So with all those industries, marinara, love the marinara industry. As soon as that stuff gets federally legalized, the old devil's lettuce, I think there's going to be money to be made there. That one's a bit more binary just because you're waiting on federal legalization. But I still believe from now until the end of the decade, EV, crypto, gambling, marinara, esports, all very, very strong industries that I believe are on the up and up. I'm also a fan of cloud computing, so things such as AWS or Microsoft Azure, data analytics, they're kind of all intertwined, but that's another industry I'm particularly excited about. Hey, Matt, thank you for the great content. I listen nearly every day from Journey. I am on BlockFi. What do you think of that? Because you don't mention BlockFi anymore. So I still like BlockFi. It's just, I noticed that a lot of my audience, they like having a diverse set of options of the crypto they can get in. If on BlockFi, if you're looking specifically for Bitcoin, that's still a solid option. I just noticed the feedback from my audience. They're like, yeah, it's great, but we want all these other cryptos as well. And then when I looked at the UI of Voyager makes it so freaking easy. I don't know if any other crypto broker has a better UI than Voyager. It's so easy. It's so intuitive. So I'm a big fan of that. BlockFi was a little bit more clunky, but the main reason was just it doesn't have all the options that people wanted. But I still have my BlockFi account and everything. This super chat was brought to you by Shiba. Using Coinbase's crypto debit card, it automatically transfers a crypto of your choice to USD when it is used. Shout out. Webull is being flooded with requests to trade on IEX. Do you have any thoughts on ARK as a long? Oh, wait. Webull is being flooded with requests to trade on IEX. I'm a huge fan of IEX. That's why I did the podcast with them. Dave Lauer used to work with IEX years ago. That's why I've had Dave Lauer on 3 separate times. I mean, I'm buddies with Dave Lauer. I learned so much from him. Every time I talk to Dave Lauer, it's a wealth of knowledge. And then fortunately, I had the privilege of elevating that relationship to be able to talk directly with IEX. And actually, the podcast with IEX, if you didn't listen to it live, if you just want the recorded version, I believe it's coming out today. If that does come out today, I will tweet the link. But I spoke with the president of IEX, the chief marketing policy officer, marketing CMO, something like that. I talked with John and Ronan and then also Dave. So the 4 of us talked, and it was already live. You might have already listened to it, but the recorded version of it is coming out today. And in the future, I mean, yesterday, the Power Hour stream, I was talking about IEX is currently in another lawsuit involving Citadel. Citadel is suing the SEC because the SEC approved a new type of market order that is better for us. It's better for retail. It's better for everyone who's using IEX. And Citadel is suing the SEC, saying the SEC should have never approved that. That lawsuit starts on Monday, October 25th. So what I want to do is reach back out to them and like bring them on the show and be like, what's going on? So I had an in-depth discussion about D-limit yesterday. That's posted on Kohrs Lite. If you want to know about the market order, why it's such a big deal, why Citadel is like ripping their hair out, suing them. It's all super, super bad looking to Citadel. Citadel, in their court documents, Citadel said they are for retail. Citadel is retail. They have our retail back. We all know that is a complete lie. So what I want to get doing next week when the court case gets going on Monday, the 25th, I want to get that hashtag running. Citadel is not retail, because they're not, but that's what they're arguing. They're arguing that they're there in there fighting for us, when in reality they're bullying IEX, which is like on a similar basis, the size of Citadel, size of IEX. It is a smaller company. Citadel is trying to bully a lit exchange, and it's just completely inappropriate. And I spoke with Dave a little bit about this, and then had the opportunity to speak with some people about IEX, but court case getting running. If you want to know more about the specifics, it's on the Kohrs Lite channel. But on Monday, I want to get that hashtag completely trending in support of IEX, because Citadel's trying to bully them. They're trying to get rid of a different type of market order that is good for us, and it's good for anyone who uses IEX. Only way to get about this is in a nonpartisan way. Term limits will scare the hell out of them. If we are trending, we can't trending, we win. Can't this on one issue. We can't hell out of them. If we get that trending, we win. I mean, in general, I think we're talking about a couple different things there, but term limits, I'm a fan of it. This concept of career politicians, that makes me go absolutely insane. But yeah, I agree with you, and this needs to be bipartisan. So my two senators, Bob Casey and Pat Toomey, I've reached out to both. I haven't really heard back. It's been a one-way conversation thus far, but I'm trying to go through the proper diplomatic channels to have a fruitful conversation with both of them. And as that develops, I'll let you know. But yesterday, what was it? Pat Toomey had tweeted something right here. I agree with Gary Gensler that GME saga highlighted the need for a faster settlement cycle. I urged that the chairman to move forward with this rulemaking process, but he followed up. But the SEC staff report found no evidence that to back up his contention to ban payment for order flow, impose new regulations on digital trading technologies, trading, or crack down on short sellers. These misguided ideas would curb investor freedom, stifle price discovery, and hamper market efficiency. So this is the diplomatic way of going about it. You do not attack him. He's still a human. If people attack him, if we attack him, they're not going to talk to us. And this is exactly a person that we need to listen to us. So for me, I was like, let's go about this. Would love to speak with you about the entire saga. I happen to be one of your constituents and think I could really highlight where the apes are coming from and what we are fighting for. Name a time and place, and I'll be there. I understand that with social media, especially with social media, it's fun with some of these things. I'm right there with you of like, I see these memes, they make me crack up. But when there's someone that's very pivotal for you to speak with, Pat Toomey, he's my senator here in Pennsylvania, but he's also on the finance committee for the Senate. He's a very important person we need to speak to. So this idea of attacking, that's not going to work because he's a human. If he gets attacked by all these random people on Twitter, you think he's going to like us? You think he's going to talk to us? You think he's going to listen to us? You think he's going to give us the benefit of the doubt and come in with an unbiased decision? No way. No one likes to be attacked. That's what I mean when I say we need to be diplomatic about it. Obviously, I have differing opinions than him, and I would just like the opportunity to plead the case of the apes and show the facts and the figures of where we're coming from. If I ever get a response, obviously I'll let you know. I emailed the office. I emailed Bob Casey. He's the other senator. And then, I don't know. As it develops, I'll let you know. Oh, I almost forgot. Happy birthday, Matt. Hey, Mark, do you have a discount code for my car's extended warranty? I don't own a Corolla. Keep up the good work, Duck Dude. Shout out to Pasco Dave. I'll look into getting you a discount code for your car's extended warranty. We must show them our peaceful ways with force. IWM still looking good. AMC hanging out at 4134, up 1.3%. GME down 1.3%. Bitcoin ripping, actually pushing 67,000. Ethereum pushing still above 4,000. Wow. Oh, wow. ANY is at 8. Whoa, ANY is waking up. I was going to say it seemed very weird that it wasn't because it's in the crypto world. Look at that. It shoots up. Reaffirm 760 starts to go. ANY, it's a nice setup. All you have to do is risk 730. So you're risking less than $1. And if this gets going, the reward is way, way more. And there's a lot of logic to it. ANY, we know it has a high cost to borrow. We know there's shorts betting against it. And it's in a sector that's running like a madman as we speak. ANY, a very, very interesting bet at this moment in time. To be explicitly clear, I have no ANY position. I wish I bought it sub 7, sub 6. I don't have any, but I do think the opportunity is very evident in ANY. A friend of mine who works in finance said that short positions need to be reported to the SEC and FINRA. I thought one of the issues is that shorts aren't reported. Can you explain? There's a good chance that your friend is referring to FINRA members. So the members, as in clearing brokers and people who can directly execute a trade on an exchange, they're reporting how many they executed as a short position to FINRA. And then that's how we get the short exchange right here, whatever this exchange reported short interest right here. That is from FINRA members. A FINRA member, think of it, the easiest way to think of it is anyone who can directly execute a trade. I know I see this on social media a lot, especially on Twitter. They're like, why would we use these numbers? They are self-reported. I don't know where people are getting this self-reported thing. They're acting as if hedge funds report their shorts. They do not. FINRA members do, as in people who execute the trades report it to FINRA, and then FINRA gives us those numbers at like basically a 2-week delay. So the numbers are out there. That's how the exchange reported short interest, like those are out there. FINRA members report it to FINRA. FINRA gives it to us 2 weeks behind. The issue is in 13Fs. 13Fs is a filing that you have to give, I guess, the public, the government, if you are managing over $100 million. If you have over $100 million, you have to report your long positions, your puts, your calls, and not your shorts once every fiscal quarter. A lot of people bring those up on Fintel. Shorts are not required to be reported in that. Once again, though, 13Fs are only for people who have assets under management exceeding $100 million. Matt Kohrs or Mods, did Matt say he was stepping away from covering AMC at all today? I heard something about that in a different chat. I mean, what? Different chats are wrong? I don't know. It's the internet. I talk about AMC literally every day. I talk about GME every day. I talk about the markets every day. I talk about oil every day. I talk about crypto every day. I talk about futures every day, and I talk about options every day. People are going to say what they want, but if you just, it's kind of funny in this like ape community of like, who's an ape? Like who's here? Who's putting in the work? I mean, folks, that's one of the nice things about social media is like the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. Look at just the history on my Twitter. Look at the history of my YouTube. I have nothing to hide about any of this. In terms of effort put in, I think the stats are on the board. Anyone can look them up. Did you make a statement today about covering AMC? I'm only asking to help FUD if they're like about you covering AMC as in me talking about AMC. I what's the FUD? I'm confused. Blazing Gaming. I talk. Am I still covering AMC as in discussing AMC? Yes. I don't even know what this means. Did you make a statement today? A statement? Yes, I have made a statement today. I've made probably thousands of statements already today about you covering AMC, about me covering AMC. I'm lost. I guess what's the FUD that you're attempting? They said you are stepping away from covering AMC. No, that has never been said. Ever, because it's not the truth. I'm confused. I think he means, are you selling your AMC? I am thoroughly lost. I am not selling I am long on AMC. I am long on GME. I have no plans to change that. And if I do change it, it means I'm probably just increasing my long position on one or both of those equities. Am I stopping my discussions about AMC or GME? Absolutely not. Never said anything related to those two. That's your social media running amok, people just being dipshits. Do you have a managing plan for crypto, percentage broker, percentage wallets? Voyager has 25K limit on transfers. Any FDIC insured? So I use Voyager kind of for some of those like more like the smaller cryptos, just because it's like easier to get in on those. And I still have some Bitcoin there, but I have like a lot of my Ethereum is actually in Coinbase. And then I have some Bitcoin on Gemini, and that just kind of, it's just how it kind of played out. I don't know if that was like an intuitive thought in terms of like percentage where like here, there, and the other place. No, I never really think of it that way, just because like day over day with the volatility in crypto, like sometimes my one portfolio is bigger than the other. But no, I use them for different reasons, and I don't really manage it that way. Hey, Matt, long time no talk. Just curious. Pirates, what's going on? What's going on? Bigness. That's my fault. I've been pushing that this channel is a fitness fashion show hosted by one of my OnlyFans rising stars. That makes sense. I thank you, Totally Real 10K Run. I understand. A lot of people are trying to box me into being like a fitness fashion influencer. And I would say that's a strong portion of my brand. Like it's a main pillar of my brand, but it's not like I'm exclusively fashion and fitness. Beard of Pop, shout out. I appreciate you becoming a member, becoming an astronaut. I appreciate that. Any on H-bar? I've done some on my own DD, but always appreciate your view. I have not done DD on H-bar, so I don't want to like say anything inappropriate. Pat Toomey is retiring soon. Start looking at who might take his spot. Very, very smart. I do, in terms of the political realm, it's necessary to see who's going to like what seats are rolling over, because the people who I think would be most willing to listen to us are also going to be the people who are like in a contentious election or like a very close election. So I think that's very, very important to note and to pay attention to. Just proud of my time here. That is all. Shout out Cosmic, 9 months. AMC looking good. Remember, we were watching that 41.85, roughly that region. GameStop breaking out of its trend line, pushing hopefully 188, 190. Would love that breakout of 190. Bitcoin currently 67,000. Ethereum around 4,075. Moving. Solana up to 164. That is very, very nice. Matic holding $1.50. Cardano waking up, pushing 221. Can you take a look at uranium? Also looking very good. Looks like it's breaking out right now. I mean, I wouldn't buy a breakout. I would have preferred to get in at 750 and not risk. Like that's an extra $1.10 in risk, but it looks good. It looks bullish. It's just just because something looks bullish or bearish, that doesn't mean it's time for you to create a position. Those are two distinct things. Remember that. Pay to play, or do you actually answer questions without paying you? Thoughts on POW? No, I mean, I answer whatever questions I guess feel like answering. But I don't know, just because of your tone, I don't want to do it now. Like out of pettiness, like there's a nice way. Like even think pay to play, or do you actually answer questions without paying you? ... Like is that how you like interact with a human, Randy H? Like I'm spitefully not going to talk about POW right now. Just because like what? Like be a human. Say, hey, I know there's 10,000 people talking to you. I would love if you could take a look at this stock. Like, what? Like, are you kidding me? What kind of freaking attitude? Randy. That's what's fun about being king of my own little digital domain here. I do what I want. I make up the rules as I go. Randy, if you caught me on a bad day, that could have been a guillotine action right there. But I'm feeling good right now. You know, everything's in the green. So let's. I'm not feeling in the beheading mood today. Right away, chat's like boot him. Like everyone, I think the chat gets more excited about like the boots than I do. Matt, would you like to see finance and market taught in high school? I very much would. I think right now one of the biggest issues is financial literacy from high school, college. It's just not there. And I think that's one of the biggest problems. And I think with it's just what works well in this sector is making it entertaining, because I like sometimes when you get really into the weeds of the situation, you see people's like eyes glossing over and it's boring. Like you have to make it exciting. You have to show what's interesting about it. And to maybe the teachers who don't feel that way, or like who they don't personally get excited, well, that's a really hard thing then to express. Like you can't really fake that type of a thing. But I would love for it to be more properly taught in various stages. Joe Dude, hey Matt, I know you're getting thousands of messages, but could you look at STLA? Thank you. Of course, Joe Dude. Look at that. Look at that. A human treating someone like a human. STLA, what is this? Motor vehicles, consumer durables. STLA. I don't know much about the company, but I like it is just generically grinding upward. I just like this pattern of higher lows, higher highs. I would say it's a bit of a bear flag, but I would want to dive more into like what the company is or isn't doing. But if you zoom out, like what a nice trend ever since the pandemic. This thing has just been up and up and up. At this point, your risk, it's not too bad. It's about $1 or $2, depending on how conservative you want to be there. But risk $1, $2, some nice upside. I like the overall trend. The devil, you know. What's going on? I appreciate that. Hey, Matt, sorry if I missed this earlier, but what is our plan if they take away the buy button again? Are we hooped again? So I think it could happen. I can't sit here and tell you in good conscience that like no way will they ever not get rid of it again. Apparently that's legal. Apparently that is their decision to do if they want to do it. But I would remind you that in terms of risk parameters, what happened in January, we know was a 5 sigma chance, as in that chance of it happening was 1 in like 3.5 million, something like that. Absurdly low. And since it happened, they now have a higher liquidity deposit requirement. So the odds of it happening next time are even lower because we have to hit a different level for it to happen. So it could happen, but you're like it's beyond lightning striking twice. So it could happen, but the odds of it are very low. And I'm not here trying to like say like Robinhood's good or something like that. I wouldn't, but I do admit, like, I think the chance of Robinhood and other brokers removing the buy button once again, the odds of it are very low. And now they also better understand the optics of it, and they understand that retail is just going to demolish them. And the net cost is way, way higher. Does AMC make you Randy, baby? No, that's not a good Allison Power voice. Does it make you Randy? I'll have to work on that one, Dark Horse. Matt, you're 1 in 3.5 million. Well, I appreciate the sentiment, but when we look at the world of over 7 billion, it doesn't make me that special. But hey, I like the sentiment, Sergeant. What do we have? All right, we did that. Jay Kiss, the devil you know, Dark Horse, Sergeant. What's going on? Can you help me find where the major resistance on Cardano is? Man, Bitcoin's still going. On Cardano, yes. 225, I'm going to say 225. I'm sticking with 225. Lock that answer in. What is 225, Alex? 225 to 230. Lock that in. If you invest in companies outside of the US, Ben, I don't. It's just, you have more risk. You're typically not protected as much when you invest in like non-US companies. Like generally from a legal standpoint, you have more protections investing in companies in the country that you're actually in. So because of that, I don't. And fortunately, I'm in the US, so I have a plethora of things that I could invest into. Did you do an interview with Michael Saylor? I certainly did. And that interview is actually up on the TTG, the True Trading Group YouTube page. So if you want to see that, but no, that was another privilege of mine, was able to, I believe that's the first billionaire I've ever spoken to. It's the first person I spoke to that like I knew they were a billionaire, which is, it was fun. It was very, very fun. ADA going to 30 long term. I hope so. I think ADA within the next 12 months is very much, I think there's a good argument that this thing could end up being a $5 coin, especially if they continue to grow. Like, they are proof of stake, and as they grow more and more popular in the live contract world for that, like, we already knew their proof of stake. Early September, they rolled out their they went live with their smart contracts. So as that gains more mass adoption, I just see that ADA, I don't see how it doesn't keep going up. I am invested in and very bullish in Cardano, for sure, without a doubt. BTC ripping, still going higher. Looks like we're about to see 67K. Love it. AMC looking good. We're watching 41 to 85, and then we have GME at 185. So thus far, a very nice, solid green day. I mean, what a day. I'm a fan of everything that's going on. So here is the dealio. Hey, I have things to learn about, things to prepare, and then I will be back for the Power Hour stream. That does appear to be the schedule in the short term. So 3 p.m. Eastern, or whatever time zone you're in, just so you know, I will be in the afternoon, and that's going to be just kind of the normal schedule going forward. Morning stream, afternoon stream, all the important clips and other updates going to Kohrs Lite. And if you happen to just not like YouTube, we're on Twitch, we're on Rumble. All the links, the important links, are in the description of the video, just for you to know. Someone asked me if this is Webull. This is not Webull. This is TradingView. You could check that out yourself. Don't forget, get on Public, get on Fidelity, get on TDA, get your trades being done on a lit exchange. If you want to get some crypto, Voyager, that code's above my head, but you could also do Coinbase, Gemini. Those are in the description. There's other popular ones, KuCoin, Kraken, Binance, all popular. I just don't happen to have like a kickback code for you. And in terms of the thing pinned to the top of chat, Noom, you get a free trial, a free kind of like breakdown, worthwhile to download. Hey, it's free. It's a free week trial. So see if it's for you, see if it's not for you. But overall, I will see you in Power Hour. People in the Discord, I'm going to be there in a bit. Just need to take care of a few things. Hey, Matt, thanks for being AM, keeping it 100. Thank you for all you do. Sincerely, from the bottom of our heart. You make the morning fly by. Very knowledgeable. Hey, I appreciate that, Joe. That's very, very kind. And I appreciate all of you. Thank you for the support. It's honestly you listening, hanging out, good vibes right now. Why I get to do this day in and day out and dedicate all of my time to figure out what's really going on in Wall Street. As always, thank you for your support. And from me and Chair, best of luck in the markets. I will catch you in the afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern.